should go back. Where are we going?
I'm following the map.
Alan held the phone out. There was green, a palette interrupted by some blue, until the white and gray expands.
I want to go back.
Don't be such a wuss.
Mom and Dad are going to be really mad.
So go back.
I don't know where we are.
Alan looked around. The farm wasn't visible anymore. They were surrounded by a thicket of trees. Some rabbits hopped around. The animals turned and looked at the kids.
It's a bunny.
Nicole stopped before running towards them.
Get away from that thing.
It's just a bunny rabbit.
Just like the cows, the rabbits seemed incomplete. Alan and Nicole took a step back as more rabbits hopped over. Now a small crowd, all watching them with eyes too large for their faces.
Run! Run!
They came to the blue line on the map, being chased by the rabbits. Crashing through the rails, they both splashed into a river. Nicole lost her grip and went under. Alan screamed and saw Nicole break the surface, being carried away by the current. Alan, still standing, knee-high, called after her.
Nicole!
Alan's heart froze. Right in front of them was the expanse. Nicole was running out of time. He sprinted ahead and saw a tree by the edge of the river. He didn't know what else to do. Alan rammed it. The tree fell over easily, crashing into the river. Nicole broke the surface and grabbed onto it, hanging off the edge of the world, where the water just ceased to exist.
Hang on!
Alan attempted to climb the tree, but he heard the tree splinter instead.
I'm going to get Mom and Dad!
Alan looked around, realizing he had to cross the river and what was waiting for him. Those animals.
Alan!
Alan ran towards the farm they came from. And that wasn't the only thing that ran. He finally slowed down. He caught his breath in his chest. He couldn't hear Nicole screaming anymore. He hoped it just meant that he was far away. It had to mean that.
Alan! Nicole!
Why would they run off?
They're kids. That's what they do.
This is all my fault.
Michelle sat down against the building. Sam shuddered, looking at her and the house. The memory of the endless darkness was still fresh in his mind. He kept his distance.
Michelle, don't say that.
But it's true.
This is something much bigger than taking a wrong turn. Let's just keep looking.
I'm going to stay here.
But what about the kids?
What if they come back?
Shout if anything happens. I love you.
I love you too.
Everything's going to be okay.
Hurry back.
Sam ran off into the woods, shouting.
Alan! Nicole!
Sam started to run spot to spot, calling out. Michelle watched until she could no longer hear Sam's voice. She closed her eyes, drifting off to sleep. Alan ran. He was out of breath again. He was being followed. When he turned around, he came face to face with a herd of incomplete deer and rabbits. Like before, their eyes were unfocused, mouths open, and they only seemed to be growing in numbers.
Dad! Mom!
Alan screamed, never feeling fear like this before in his life. These animals were targeting him. Alan had no doubts about it, the way their bulging eyes didn't focus right, or that their mouths were constantly in a faux chewing motion. It only seemed to exasperate the situation.
Get away!
Alan picked up a rock and threw it at the herd. The rock hit one of the deer in the face. It didn't even stagger. Blood started to seep down its face as it began to walk closer.
This can't be real.
Alan realized for the first time, now that he was facing the tree, there wasn't any detail to the bark or the leaves. In fact, the tree didn't have a single twisted, gnarled form or cracked bark. It was just blocky. Alan climbed up the tree easily. The deer were surrounding him, and the tree in a circle. Alan almost gave in. But then he saw the farmhouse, the car, and his mother lying against the side of the barn.
Mom!
Michelle didn't budge. He reached into his pockets. He had nothing. He was going to die, and within running distance from his mother. Reaching through the branches, Alan found a few blocky acorns. The deer started to ram the tree, and mass started to move. The tree wouldn't hold for much longer. Alan threw 2 acorns and missed, just by a few feet.
I play baseball. I can do this.
Alan told himself as he threw the last acorn. Michelle woke up. She didn't realize that she fell asleep. The stress, combined with the warm weather, Michelle rationalized. Now standing at her feet, heart racing, looking at her car, and around it as the alarm blared out into the otherwise silent air. There was a crack in the windshield. Michelle turned around. Alan was in a tree that was rocking back and forth.
Alan!
Michelle took a step back. There was a pack of half-formed deer coming out from the woods, heading towards her. She glanced and saw another pack taking turns ramming the tree. She watched it shake.
It's going to fall!
Michelle ran to the car. She flipped the keys in the ignition.
Thank God.
Michelle didn't even want to imagine what would happen if Sam kept them. Backing up fast, kicking gravel and dirt up in the air, Michelle spun around and accelerated towards the trees. The car bumped and leapt off-road, accelerating through the woods, heading towards the tree. Alan held onto a branch as the tree started to fall. Michelle drove with fury, screaming, honking.
Get away from him!
Each honk and each shout seemed to be fruitless. The deer ignored her. The car collided with a group of them, smashing the windshield, rolling over the rooftop.
Alan!
Michelle rolled down the window. The deer that were standing started charging at the car. One tried to stick its head in. She slammed on the horn. The deer ripped its head out and collided with the tree nearby. As Alan ran through the bushes, the dazed look gone, now replaced by determination. He stopped. Michelle heard the stag before she saw him. The slamming of its hooves, the snorting and chuffing before the stag lowered his head, revealing his antlers, and charged.
Get in now!
Alan shook his head. Diving towards the car, the stag aimed right for him. Michelle threw the car in reverse. Leaning over, she kicked the passenger's side door open. The car flew backwards as Alan ran forward. He dove in as the stag took the door right off its hinges. Michelle swung the car around, just as the stag and some deer watched them through a clearing in the woods. The car kicked back and forth.
Mom! It's Nicole! She's in trouble!
Alan held up the phone. They were near the edge of the line. They skimmed the edge of nothingness. The car hit a bump, and Alan almost fell out of the car, looking towards the eternal blank emptiness. Michelle grabbed Alan by the back of his shirt and threw him back in. When he went to thank her, she screamed at him. He didn't notice how she was crying before, or how angry she looked.
Put your seatbelt on. Now!
Michelle and Alan drove through the woods. Following the path Alan took, Michelle brought the car to a stop.
What happened to your sister?
She fell in the river.
You just left her?
I couldn't do anything. I needed you or Dad.
I'm sorry. No. You did the right thing.
I can show you where.
Fine, let's hurry.
Go that way.
Mommy's coming, sweetie.
Ellen! Nicole!
Dad!
Sam stopped. He looked around. He saw nothing but the brook and the clearing in the woods, but he didn't see his kids.
Nicole? Is that you, honey?
Hurry!
Sam's attention shot to the river. He sprinted towards the river. The thought echoed in his mind repeatedly. Did she say in the river? He stood out at the edge of the river, cresting high, clashing against rocks jutting out, and where it ceased to exist, fading into that white horizon.
How is that?
His attention was drawn to the way the water was there, and then simply became non-existent. The thought was dwarfed when he saw a tiny hand holding onto the edge of the downed tree, hanging between the river and the horizon. Nicole screamed, masked between the gasps for air. He dove into the river, not thinking twice. It carried him, but he could stand, as each step was slowly dragged forward. Sam kept his balance. He approached the tree. Nicole's fingers slipped. He dove after her, grabbing onto the edge of the tree, and Nicole's hand. She looked up at him, red eyes, wide, frightened. Tears, or maybe the spray of the river, seemed to pour down her face. Nicole lay above the edge of the world, the only thing in that white horizon dangling off the edge of the world.
Daddy's got you!
Sam pulled her slowly. The tree started to slip as well.
Dad, I'm falling!
Hold on, baby!
Sam looked beyond her for a moment. His mind instantly thought what would happen if she fell. If he did. Would they simply stop existing? Or would they fall for eternity?
I'm not letting you go!
He pulled her into his chest. They collapsed backwards onto a rock as the tree branch broke and flew down the river, until it simply ceased to be. They watched for a moment, laying on the rock, Nicole convulsing with sobs. Sam held her small, delicate frame in his arms, rubbing her back.
It's okay, honey. I got you.
When they stood at the edge of the river, determined not to look back, Sam noticed the forest was watching him. Nicole, now holding his hand, squeezed it.
I know, honey.
Sam said before she could ask. Sam picked up Nicole in his arms. That's when they heard the repeated honking of a blaring horn, charging through the silent forest, charging towards them. Michelle, a wild, frenzied look in her eyes, driving the car, or what remained of it.
Dad, look, it's Mom.
I see that. Damn straight that's Mom.
You said a bad word.
Sam noticed the animals trailing the car.
Get in!
Michelle shouted. She stuck her head out of the window, stopping the car. Alan waving them in, sitting in the passenger side.
Honey, if you didn't like the car...
Not the time! Hurry!
They barely shut the door just as Michelle spun the car around fiercely, kicking up dirt, and possibly a small, incomplete animal, trying to hitch a ride.
Watch out!
Do not backseat drive me right now.
Yes, ma'am. Buckle up, sweetie.
They broke out of the forest, the car flying out onto the dirt road. A tire popped. Michelle still drove on. They saw the half-formed animals chase them.
Keep going.
Alan stuck his head out of the spot where the door was, seeing them gain speed, as Michelle fought to keep the car straight.
Where do we go?
The gas station.
The stag rammed the trunk. They all jolted.
Ah! Why?
Just trust me.
Sam rolled the window down and started tossing whatever he could find at the animals. The stag tripped. For a second, they were fine. The car flew over the hill that overlooked the gas station. They crashed onto the concrete parking lot, spinning. As soon as they stopped spinning, the windows, the tires, all broke, leaving the hood up and engine smoking. For a second, Michelle, Alan, Nicole, and Sam sat motionless.
Is everyone okay?
Sam slowly unbuckled his seatbelt and crawled out of the car, expecting a fight. He watched the deer at the edge of the hill. They wouldn't move any closer.
Are they leaving?
I think so. Well, we're not going anywhere.
Why are they leaving?
Race you to the gas station.
But
It's okay, just stay in sight.
Sam?
I, need some time with you anyways.
Sam put his arms around Michelle's waist.
Oh!
Ew, Dad, we're right here.
wait for me.
What's gotten into you?
Sam started kissing her neck.
You didn't tell me how you knew.
Sam lifted Michelle up in his arms and carried her to the hood of the car.
I'll tell you after.
Sam! Sam, wait. Shouldn't we check on the kids?
They're safe here.
Shouldn't we check on Mom and Dad?
Don't you want some answers?
But Dad said
Stay in sight.
I almost drowned.
I almost got eaten by a gang of deer.
They looked inside the gas station. Alan held the phone. 40% lingered in the top right corner. He wondered for a second. What happens when the battery dies?
Hey, Alan, look.
Wait for me.
They stood in front of a shelf, now full of bars, chips, and beef jerky. Alan ripped a candy bar and bit into it. He nodded vigorously.
Oh, this is the best.
Over here.
Nicole dug into a fridge which was empty before, now stocked with waters, sodas, and the light was on. They felt the cool refrigeration wafting into the humid gas station.
How is this possible?
Alan asked more to himself, while Nicole played with a few magazines, now more filled in than before. Alan walked over and rolled up a magazine and started swinging it around, knocking some product off the shelves.
Dad said he knew why.
But what do you think?
Probably a wizard or maybe a dragon. We just have to slay it.
Why'd I ask you anyway?
Michelle and Sam walked into the gas station, holding hands.
So, I was right. Why don't we have our camp out right now?
The kids looked between themselves excitedly and ran over to Sam and Michelle. They were out front of what was once the car. Sam had the grill out now, watching the fire cooking some burger meat and some hot dogs. Sam was happily flipping a burger, while Nicole and Michelle sat together in a pull-out chair, playing with the map on the phone. Alan still ran around, playing with the magazine like he was a pirate, jumping on debris, and tripping on over his own feet. The sky was the same blue as before. They didn't know how long they'd been trapped here, but no time seems to have elapsed. Sam turned back to Michelle.
What I figured is this has something to do with the phone. Like, this part of the map hasn't been loaded. It explains everything. The half-filled gas station, and closer to the edge, the more faded everything looks. And don't forget the interior of the farmhouse.
That's ridiculous. That would mean everything is... What would that mean?
There was a science fiction story I read as a kid, where a couple leaves the house 5 minutes early, but the world isn't completed yet. They argue with a construction worker. What if the world...
What if it must be loaded? Like a game or a GPS?
Well, that's the best I could come up with. The house with nothing but nothing. And a lot of it. The white horizon where nothing exists. Half-completed animals that attack anything that doesn't belong. It's like we weren't meant to be here.
Like when Mom shouted at you?
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
How do we fix it?
We finish our food, play a few games, and then get into the car. And I'll reset the phone.
Sam, what if?
I know. But it's our only shot.
Dad? You sure it's not a wizard?
That's what I said.
They sat in the car, ignoring the smashed window and missing door.
Everyone, close your eyes.
Sam, I love you.
Kids,
Do it.
I can't wait to tell my class about this. The deer! How I set off the car alarm. Mom running them over.
Alan, I don't think...
it's okay, honey. There's no way they'll believe this. Eyes closed.
Michelle and Alan closed their eyes. Sam locked eyes with Nicole. He raised a finger to his lips. She giggled softly. He clicked the power button and saw the notification. Are you sure? He wasn't. The phone displayed a little white circle that slowly spun before a black screen overtook the phone. The world faded from view, the edge of the horizon being swept by a wave of white, eating the world until only the car was encompassed by an ocean of nothing. There wasn't a sensation of falling, just the motion of sitting in place. Sam powered the phone on. There was a minute of silence until the lock pad turned on. He had a message. The screen came on the phone. Sorry for the error. Maps corrected the problem. The world burst into view in a single instant. The gas station was slightly busy. The road had a single yellow truck drive down in it. The gas station attendant nearly had a heart attack walking up to the wreckage of the car.
Wrong way. Turn around.
Guess we shouldn't have turned left after all.
Rerouting was written and directed by Justin Morton. Edited by Sasha Bloor. Music by Sal Mazzota. Additional editing by Maxwell. Sunshine, a collaboration by Evie and Charlie Harper. Lyrics written by Sasha Bloor and Justin Morton. Sam was played by E.S. Henry. Michelle was played by Megan Taylor. Alan was played by Julie Bowden. Nicole was played by S.H. Cooper. The mysterious voice of the Radioverse was Sasha Bloor. And the narrator, yours truly, was performed by Matthew Raftis.
If you enjoyed the show, why not follow us on Twitter and Instagram @TheRadioverse, or visit our website radioverse.online, where you can find out more about the cast and crew and episodes, or even become a member for just $1 a month, where you'll have exclusive access to extras and behind the scenes videos, as well as much more.